Right, we're just going to get you what Mr. Sunil Gavaskar said. Remember, the Supreme Court has proposed his name as the next BCCI chief or some other cricketer's name, but specifically his name. So let's just listen into what he had to say.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to say that the fact that the highest court of the land, the Honorable Supreme Court, thinks it fit to even consider my name for the interim job is the biggest honor that I have had in my entire career. I think it's a huge honor, and quite clearly I have informed the Honorable Supreme Court of my various commitments, my media commitments, my contractual obligations to various organizations, and it really is after that up to them and the BCCI to take a call. But yes, to answer your question, if the Honorable Supreme Court asks me to do it, I will consider it a huge honor and a huge privilege to do it.
All right, Mr. Gavaskar, because this entire case has come to Supreme Court and the main issue right now is conflict of interest, many would point out that you are right now contracted to the BCCI doing commentary. Will you let go of your assignments if you do end up heading the board?
Well, it might not even come to that because it could just be a temporary situation. So it might not even have to come to that. But that's a bridge that we'll have to cross when we come to that tomorrow.
All right, now
if it comes to that tomorrow.
Right, Mr. Gavaskar, now that the position that Indian cricket finds itself in, no one would really want to head the BCCI. Of course, the exception being of the incumbent, Mr. N. Srinivasan. So I could probably go ahead and call it the dirty job. In that sense, quote unquote, are you ready to take on this dirty job?
Well, it depends. I think it's a way of looking at it. You look upon it as a challenge. You would say, you ask anybody, any batsman, and he would say, opening the batting is a dirty job. Opening the batting is a dirty job because you're facing the fastest bowlers in the opposition ranks on pitches which are maybe lively and green, and when the ball is hard and new and can do a lot of things and can hurt you. So look, it's the way you look at a particular job is the way to go about it. And if you have sort of reservations about a particular job, then you're better off thinking twice about taking it or not.
All right, Mr. Gavaskar, your expertise lie in cricket, but do you think you are up for this challenge, the challenge of being an administrator now?
Like an opening batsman who took on any challenge, yes, I am ready to take on a challenge. Not for a moment am I suggesting that I'll be successful, but it's a challenge, and it's something if the Honorable Supreme Court, taking into account all the other factors that I have outlined to you and to them as well, feels that I'm capable of, I'll go out and try and do my best.
Right. Now, in the current circumstances, because the Supreme Court proposal says that two teams, CSK and Rajasthan Royals, should be suspended. So in the current circumstances, should the IPL, according to you, be postponed then?
I think it's going to be a very tough call. It's going to be a very tough call because it's upon us. It's barely about 3 weeks away, the start of the IPL. And obviously, if that is what the Honorable Supreme Court says must happen, I think the BCCI will have to have a relook at the whole issue and take a call on that. And once again, since I'm not part of the BCCI, I'm not part of the thinking that goes on, it's not for me to say whether it should take place or not. Because you can actually have, even if you want to, you can have a pretty successful IPL with 6 teams.
Now, Mr. Gavaskar, you've been part of the Indian cricket setup for many years now, first as a player and then as a cricket commentator. The current situation that Indian cricket finds itself in, does it sadden you?
Yes, I think when you have incidents like this happening, it does make you feel sad because that's not what you expect from this wonderful game of ours. But then you look back again and you say to yourself that, look, just like in 1999-2000, it was found that there were just a few people who were compromised. Similarly, last year we found there were only a few players who were compromised, and the majority, a vast majority, are clean players who have had nothing to hide. And that is the thing that gives you hope, that's the thing that gives you optimism, that there is still a huge majority of players who play the game as it should be played. And I think that is how we should encourage those players and those other young players coming in to follow their example rather than the example of those who have been compromised.